Welcome to Married Men Speak Life. I'm your host, DP. Um, First question I'd like to start with is, what's the meaning of life? I think that's a very important question for us as married men as we seek to set a vision for our families, as we seek to love our wives well, as we seek to make an impact in this world. Is there a meaning to it all? Because at the end of the day, if there's no end game, if there's no long-term benefit, then why would I bother? Why would I sacrifice? Why would I press on? Why would I persevere? Why wouldn't I just get mine, do what's best for me, eat, drink, and be merry for tomorrow we die? Why wouldn't that be my mindset? You see, but if life does have a real purpose and a real meaning, then I should be fulfilling that purpose, right? I should be living into that meaning. Why? Because there's joy there that will last, because there's satisfaction, because it contributes the greatest good to those around me, especially the ones closest to me that I love, because I'm fulfilling my purpose. And so this is a very important question to think about. And I would say the first place you have to go is, are we created or are we self-existing? Because if people are self-existing, if we are just random atoms and particles colliding together, creating this reality that we call life and thought and love, if these things are just random and have very little to no meaning, right? If there's no creator, if life is not eternal, if it's just nihilism, then of course, okay, the conversation ends right there. You're going to maximize your pleasure and minimize your pain. That's all that there is for you. But what if there's more? See, I believe that there's more, that we need to go deeper and look under the rocks. I think that there is a God. And not only is there a God, but this God is knowable, right? We can know him, and we were even made in his image. And I think that this is very important to think that there is a creator, because if there is, you'd want to know, what is this creator like? And does this creator have a purpose? Right? When we think about things that we make as human beings, they have a purpose. For example, take a simple tool like a knife. A knife, its purpose is to cut. The sharper it is, the better that it's fulfilling its purpose, if its purpose is to cut things. That's why a dull knife has less value, because it does not do what we created it to do, right? And so we can sharpen that knife, and as we do, it becomes more valuable. Could that be the same with people? Is there some purpose that we should be living into that if we don't, our value is decreasing, right? Our purpose, our sense of satisfaction, our meaning of life, our vision, right? Our joy is going to be lessened. Why? Because we're not walking in accordance to the reason we were made, the reason that we were put on this earth. So you have to ask yourself, does life have meaning? And if so, how can I know? Well, I think that the God of the Bible is true. Now, if you're going to go with that logic, then you have to take into account the full counsel of Scripture, right? That gives an outline of how man came to be, what God's purpose was in creating. And it even gives us ideas about our existence today, right? What is the problem? What's wrong with the world? We all know that there's pain. We all know that there's suffering. We all feel that we're not perfect, right? I've never met someone who's claimed to be perfect. And so if we know that we're less than what we potentially could be, then what's the issue, right? How can you identify it, and how can we fix it? Because the reason why we're not satisfied is because this is a messy world. It's disgusting. It's fractured in so many ways out there, but also in here, right? There's still levels in which I need to mature. I need to grow. Things that I need to learn. Ways in which I hurt myself and hurt those around me. And so identifying what that problem is and being able to overcome it, going through some type of process of transformation, would be essential to me laying hold of my purpose, laying hold of the joy. Like the knife analogy. If it's a dull knife, you have to put it through the process of sharpening. Same thing with people. If people are broken and imperfect, how do we strengthen them? How do we encourage them? How do we build them up? This is very important, and these are the things that I would like to talk about in Married Men Speak Life, right? Actually getting into the issues and starting conversations around things that matter. First topic, what is the meaning of life? Is there meaning? Is there a God? Is he the creator of all mankind? If so, what do we all share in common, right? And looking at this world, I think that it's broken. Do you agree with that? I think that I have some issues. Do you also? If so, what do we call these issues and how can they be fixed? How can they be remedied? How can they be solved? These are important questions that we need to be asking because it completely shapes the vision of who we are as married men and how we're going to lead our families.